Yo, what's up, guys? This is going to be an in-depth guide for free-to-play players. Now, I am actually free-to-play myself, so this is mostly just based off my experience in early access and also what my plans are for when the game is released. It does come out in just a couple of days from when I'm making this video, so this video should be really helpful for anybody that's planning to play the game. And even if you're planning to spend a little bit of money, I think that this should be helpful for you as well. If you're planning to whale out and just spend a bunch of money, then this is, maybe not the video for you, but typically for everyone that's more free to play or also a low spender, this is definitely going to be super helpful for you guys. Really quickly, I'll show you guys where I'm at, just for some credibility here. So as a free to play player myself, I've gotten to level 62, gotten some decent weapons, some decent artifacts, leveled up some nice skills here, and I do have some leveled up hunters as well. Not fully maxed out just because I'm limited on resources, but I've done the best I can here and I'll be circling back to this later. And then the other part, which I think I'll probably skip today in this video, in terms of the Shadow Army here, I did an entire separate video on this, so I'm going to go ahead and skip this part. I'll just link that in the description, so maybe go check that out separately for the Shadow part. Going into the main part of the video though, we can start with the story mode. When you're free to play, this is like the biggest area to get XP as well as some material and whatnot, as well as tickets. So as you go throughout the story here, make sure you go ahead and collect these tickets, and you should also try to complete some of these challenges as well. Now, if you haven't, like, if you play through the story and you don't get all the trophies the first time, that's okay. You'll just have to go back later on and complete these trophies. So you can see all the early chapters I've completed here on normal. I think I'm caught up until like chapter 10 here, so I'm going to start doing these. And another big thing, if you guys are playing early access right now and you guys are going to be kind of, if you're curious about like what's best, like what to do when the game is released, I would save your guys' tickets. So I'll go to the draw area. What I'm doing right now as a free-to-play player is I am saving up my tickets here for Chahayan. So she's going to be a really good light damage dealer, kind of similar to Bakir, if I'm saying his name correctly, because he's light. But I think that she's going to have a little bit different skill sets, rune set and all that. So I'm going for Cha here. So I'm saving up all my tickets. Another thing is I have almost 10k Essence Stones saved up. So I think that you should kind of save your tickets and essence stones, and then when the game drops, then you can go crazy and go ahead and try to go for Jahan or anybody else that you might be looking to collect. So that's the part for story. I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, there's some nice cutscenes. I like some of those elements, so you can learn about the hunters and whatnot. But that's really up to you if you like that stuff or you maybe just want to skip over it. But that is story mode. Moving into the gates element, this is another area to get a ton of XP. You get some material and gear as well, but I think that the XP is the biggest thing. Now, I've already used up all my keys. You get a limit of 15 keys per day here. So you can use these keys, and down here at the bottom, right now I've already used up all these, so I'm on like the gold part. But for you guys, you should see the XP here that you can go ahead and grab, and that's going to be really helpful for progressing and leveling up. You should also try to do the higher tiered gates here, like A rank, S rank. If it's like C rank or D rank, you can probably skip those ones. You probably don't need to do those unless you're planning to sweep them. This is more for the low spenders or pay to win for like sweeping. If you guys are free to play, instead of sweeping, I would recommend actually playing it out. Unless you're short on time. Like if you have a busy day and you can barely get on for a few minutes, you can go ahead and sweep. It instantly completes the dungeons instead of having to play through them. The last thing about the gates is just make sure you do your mining. I've already done all the mining for today, so I don't have any gates left to mine. But as you can see, you're going to be getting certain stuff like gold and material from the gates that you mine. So that is the gate element to the game. The Hunter Archive, I mean, this is just like some side story stuff. You get some essence stones, but otherwise it's not that important. However, what is really important are the Encore missions and the instant dungeons. Now, for these two things right here, You don't unlock them right off the bat. You do have to get a certain amount of way through the story. I think it's like chapter 9. I could be wrong. I think it's close to when you get your guys' shadows. That's when you can unlock these Encore missions and instant dungeons. And these are super key, one of the most important areas of the game, specifically for gear. So as you can see, based off these different like tiers here, there's going to be certain rewards that you can go ahead and get. You're going to have to go through like the snake and the tree dude. Sorry, I don't know what they're called. I guess it's right here. Viridescent Mage, Blue Venom. I just call it Snake and Tree Dude. But then the ones that you're going to want to farm later on once you get a little bit higher leveled up, it's going to be Cerberus here as well as the Spider. So these can be a little bit difficult of bosses. Sometimes you'll die and you might struggle a little bit. Definitely pay attention though. I guess it's not going to let me play it, but they are weak to certain elements. So I believe Cerberus is weak against the water element. Spider, I think it's weak against wind. I could be wrong, but you might want to double check on that. And then it kind of ties into your hunters here and your weapons. So Siu, or Seo Jiwo, however you say her name, she's water element. So definitely this is like she's known as the Cerberus killer. So you're going to want to try to get her in for Cerberus and etc. So that's the idea with the Encore missions. And then, I mean, the Instant Dungeon, this is the same thing, but you play with Sung Jin Woo here. And then these give you jewelry. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to need to farm both each day. I think another thing that's really important to mention about these things is from the gates you mine, so from your mining team, you're going to get these low tier mana crystals. And as a free to play player, you don't have to buy this. You just will naturally collect them through the game. But you can go ahead and head over to the shop here. You can go to, I believe it's the exchange shop. Sorry, game's a little bit slow. Hopefully they fix that on release. And then you can go ahead and go to Mana Crystal Exchange. So what I would do every single day is you can go ahead and buy, I think it's 2 of each, but you can buy a couple of extra keys for Encore missions and a couple of extra keys for instant dungeon keys. Now, I was kind of newbie. I did not know this right off the bat, so I have a bunch saved up because I wasn't really spending them. But definitely go ahead, take advantage of these. Go ahead and buy them from the shop with your low tier mana crystals. And then if you're going to buy anything else here, maybe the designs or the advanced mana or the mana power elixir. I don't think you're going to really need this other stuff here. But yeah, you can go ahead and pick those up if needed. So that should cover pretty much everything here on the left hand side. Once you also level up a little bit, the Battlefield of Trials, this is really good for just getting some like material, gold, etc. So on each floor here, it's going to give you different rewards. So definitely go ahead and do the Battlefield of Trials. You will get eventually stuck, so you might have to like go back to the story, go back to gates, level up, get your gear, and then retry these at a later time. They are fairly difficult, so just know Battlefield of Trials, they are a little bit tricky, and there's different boss passives for each one, and stuff like that. So just keep an eye out for that. In terms of Battlefield of Time, these are just like certain challenges the game releases. I think that this is already over. This is in progress, but I've done all the tiers I can do here. There's like, it starts off pretty easy and then gets pretty hard. I haven't been able to do level 60 Egress, but you also get some rewards. I think that we can take a look. So these drop some pretty good rewards as well. Then the last thing in terms of gameplay area is just Power of Destruction. This is just like a huge dragon you fight that can be pretty difficult if you're on hard, but I think that usually you start on normal. And I mean, you get some rewards. It's just based off like how much damage you do to it. You're never going to kill it. But yeah, you'll get some rewards here just for dealing damage to that as well. In terms of maybe some of the weapons and gear, I'll go through this really quickly. It really depends on what you draw. Of course, going over to the draw area here. There's certain percentages for getting certain different things. Let me actually, this music in the background's making me tweak a little bit. Okay, there we go. Going back to weapons here, you get these from drawing. I would say the better ones to level up. I mean, the Scythe is good, Moon Shadow's good, Westwind is good, although I believe that this is getting nerfed on release. There's some other good ones as well, and I would just kind of, the idea here is to spread them out a little bit. So I have a couple of dark weapons, I have a wind element, I have light, water, fire. So you are going to need to keep an eye on this just because there's bosses that are weak to different things. So just keep an eye out. Try to the resources are really, really tricky when you're free to play. So you have to pick and choose certain things to level up. You're not going to be able to level up all of them completely, especially with the hunter weapons. I only have a few of these leveled up. There's some here that just aren't leveled up at all just because I did not have the resources. So yeah, just be careful about this. Kind of pick and choose and be careful which weapons you level up. And same goes for gear, by the way. So if I go over to, let's say, my hunters, we can take a look at Emma here. I have her leveled up quite a bit. Demon set is pretty good. It increases your power gauge here, which increases how fast you get your ult. And this is for your whole team, so this is a decent set. Seo can either be shield or she can go crits. Libora just does a ton of damage. So what you'll want to do just for all of your hunters, just read these recommended stats right here. It's just at the top right. This will kind of tell you how to build them out and what substats you guys should be looking at. For example, attack and crit. And just for example, this headpiece here, whatever you call it, the hat, it has attack and crit. So that's the idea here. Just go with the recommended of whatever it suggests. And that should be able to help you guys build out your hunters. Circling back to GO over here, the stats will vary throughout the game. I also made a video on this. Maybe I'll also put that in the description. You might want to diversify these stats a little bit at the beginning. If you're squishy and dying, you might want to invest a little bit in vitality. But once you level up, progress, and get some decent gear later on, you can drop vitality, you can drop crits. These types of stats you're just going to get from your gear pieces. And I can show you I can show you guys my artifacts as well here. So for example, the boots have crits. This is actually insane. I don't know. I just got so lucky. I got 3 rolls of crit here, which is really good. There's some other stats that I got as well. And then just so you guys know what you're really looking for in your stats, you're going to want at least 80% precision. You're going to want 50% crit, and then as much crit damage as possible. Now I think that the crit damage is bugged right now, but hopefully that gets fixed on release. So crit damage should be good, whenever they fix that. I think that's mostly everything. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I mean, in terms of stuff that just gets completed throughout the game, definitely go ahead and do your challenges here. I've already done them all, but this is a good area to get a lot of resources like gold, essence stones, etc. So just keep an eye on the challenges. Make sure that you're doing these as you progress through the game. And same for your daily missions. These are pretty important. It's just simple stuff like completing gates, claiming your activity fund. This stuff you probably do anyways. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that as well. Last but not least, I mean, crafting. This is tough to do when you're free to play. I would probably focus on crafting the hunter weapons here. So far I've crafted Seo's weapon, and I think I already have Choi's. I'm considering either next going for Emma. Her weapon's pretty good, or maybe Libora, so I'm still figuring this part out. I'm sure that Cha Hien will have a weapon as well, so I might be looking at preparing for that ahead of time. And you get these, I believe, from the Tower of Destruction, whatever the big dragon is. So just look out for that as well. Let me see if I missed anything here. I mean, the battle tier, you can just upgrade this based off of your team's total power here. So once I reach 208, I'll be able to increase this. Just helps me throughout the game. Let's take another look here. Special commission, these are just bosses you eventually complete. The armory is a little bit tricky. This takes a while to level up, but this does increase your total team's power. And by the way, the reason why it's important to level up your team's power, the game is a little weird. I don't know why it's designed like this, but a lot of players found that let me just go to a battle. If I'm under the recommended total power, I only have 179k here, I'm not going to do any precision, and I'm not going to do any crit damage. So you're heavily nerfed if you're under the total recommended power, but if you're just over, I'm not sure which floor, So I'm over like the total recommended power here, so my precision and my crit damage would mostly work in this case. At least the precision would work. So that is important to note. So I would try to be over the recommended power, especially if you get stuck on a boss or anything like that. Try to go back and try to level up your gear a little bit. And then once you reach the total recommended power, then you should be able to complete whatever you guys are stuck on. So I hope this video was helpful. I know it might have been a little bit longer than my typical video, but I'll link in the video for Shadows. I might link in the video for like Sung Jin Woo stats. I know that's there's kind of an in-depth part to that as well. But let me know if you guys have any questions, what videos you want to see next. I know I'm super excited for the release. Oh, I also just made a new Discord server for solo leveling. It's my own Discord server, so I'll link that in the description as well. Feel free to join that. We're going to be posting a lot of content, answering questions, just engaging if you guys want to connect. So yeah, join the Discord and subscribe if you like this type of content. Like the video as well, really helps me out. I'm trying to reach at least 500 subs, but we'll see. It's kind of a slow grind for me. So yeah, anyway, guys, appreciate the love. Take care, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.